Hey, MCE crew, let me start out by asking you a question. What is the name of the organization that derives revenue from criminal activity? And this organization kind of does things via violence. They make sure that they get paid, and if they don't, then they'll send some people, to your home potentially, take you out, and put you in a situation where violence may occur. They're a very intimidating organization. They can be. I want you to think about who that is. And we're going to come back to that question in just a moment. But I want to talk about the fact that most democratic forms of government, and I know we have a republic, I know this is a republic, the United States of America, but this type of representative government usually only last about 200 years. It has a shelf life of about 200 years. Next year, 2022, July 4th, we'll celebrate our 246th birthday as the United States of America. So our expiration date, well, we're well past the expiration date of the average democracy. So what do we do? I mean, how's it going to look if America, ceases to exist in the form that we know it today? What can we look at to kind of give us some clues as to not only what it might look like, but how we thrive economically in such a circumstance? Now, I'm certainly not predicting a date specific on the breakup of the United States of America. However, the United States will dissolve one day, because all governments before this one have certainly dissolved. There have been governments that have come into existence and it dissolved during the lifespan of the United States of America, like the Soviet Union, for example. It happened to them. So I am under no illusion that the United States of America is definitely not some type of structure that's going to exist, for the lifespan of humanity. You can just read the news today and you can figure that out on your own. We're actually headed toward an idiocracy, quite frankly. But the United States has some things going on right now that definitely indicate that we are in the autumn, at least, of our years, and maybe early winter. The sun is setting on the democracy. Will it happen in my lifetime? I don't know. Okay, but I definitely, like in most things in my life, I want to be prepared for eventualities. Now, let's get back to that question that I asked you earlier about that organization that uses intimidation, can use violence in order to get money from you. And they're okay with you endeavoring in criminal activity in order to get them the money you owe them. Okay, they're very serious about their collection efforts. Now, who do you think I'm talking about? Well, if you said the Mafia, La Cosa Nostra, you're wrong. I'm talking about the United States of America, specifically the greatest collection agency that has ever existed in the history of the world, the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. Okay, I don't know when what I'm about to read you was included in the tax code, but it is pretty eye-opening in terms of the length that this country will go through, that this government, rather, will go through in order to get paid, okay? Listen to this. And I put this in the community tab a few days ago. Start checking that out, because we're putting different items in the community tab, and we might not always do a video on them immediately, but stuff you need to know. I'm going to include the link to this in the description of this video, and it's going to be a link to the IRS site, not a news article, not a blog, okay? The horse's mouth. Income from illegal activities, such as money from dealing drugs, must be included in your income on Schedule 1. line 8Z or Schedule C, if from your self-employment activity. So they're saying that if you got a little side job where you're, I don't know, selling heroin or maybe knocking over liquor stores, don't forget to declare that income on your 1040 form for your taxes. Okay? This is real. I thought it was an article out of The Onion or the Babylon Bee, but it's real. It's not satire. Goes on to say, stolen property. If you steal property, you must report its fair market value in your income in the year you steal it, unless you return it to its rightful owner in the same year. So the IRS, I think they're really missing out on a lot of revenue, because if I look at the crime figures, crime has exploded across this nation. Do you remember those smash and grabs that have been occurring at like Walgreens, and I think one happened at Nordstrom's? Those people are liable for the taxes on that stolen property. Literally. This isn't a joke. It's real. All of these guys and ladies out here selling drugs, they owe taxes on that money. This is an untapped gold mine for the IRS. Maybe that is why Biden hired 80,000 more enforcement agents. Actually, he hired them to come after you, the law-abiding citizen. But the reality of it is, they've given themselves the right to go after anybody doing anything. They give you an example, such as money from dealing illegal drugs, but they say quite explicitly income from illegal activities. So we've got an arm of the U.S. government that is A-OK with collecting money that is derived from illegal activity. This is their words, not mine. These are their words, not mine. So you got one arm of the government acting like the literal mafia on steroids. And then you have another arm of the government, Social Security, the Social Security Administration, acting like Charles Ponzi, running a Ponzi scheme. We're going to do one of our Saturday documentary style videos. We're going to do that this coming Saturday. It will be the 1st of January, 2022. We're going to have a video on Charles Ponzi. You need to understand what that scheme that he orchestrated, you need to understand what that's all about. And the reason you need to is because that is exactly the structure that Social Security uses right now to pay out benefits. Okay, you need to understand that Charles Ponzi went to jail for this, but the U.S. government is orchestrating this scheme. You go to, let's say somebody owes you some money, okay, and you go to them and say, listen, you've owed me for quite some time now. I want you to go and sell some drugs in order to generate the money to pay me back. Now, I'm sure there's a law that would charge you as an accessory if the person really listened and then went, sold drugs, got money from that, and then gave it to you. Okay, I know that in the real estate and financial services businesses, we go through great lengths to make sure that the money you're using to purchase a financial service tool or product or a piece of real estate comes from legal means. I mean, we go through great lengths to do that because we don't want to participate in any type of money laundering at all or any type of illegal activity. But the United States government is saying they're okay with it. You can go out and, set up shop on some corner in the inner city, usually, or, hey, set up a meth lab somewhere in a rural area of the country and sell meth like Walter White. And, get them the money. That's the bottom line. So it's pretty disturbing. Okay, the United States government is pretty much running one criminal enterprise with Social Security, And then on the other hand, they have the IRS that's saying, we don't care how you get the money, just get it. Okay, tell us about it and pay your appropriate taxes, even if it's on stolen goods, even if it's on money from drug dealing. So I don't think you can belabor that point. I think it's pretty stark. I think it also illustrates the fact that you need to play it straight when it comes to the IRS. You need to pay the taxes that you owe. And you need to hire competent representation when it comes to your taxes. And here's another thing. Do you know that even if you hire competent or if you hire representation that may not be so competent, you're ultimately responsible for your tax obligation. No one else, okay? That is why you have to make sure that you hire competent representation, especially if you're building a business. Don't skimp on that aspect of your business. You've got to really you got to go for the Tiffany brand. You got to get plenty of references. You got to understand their track record. Quite probably, it would be a good idea to make sure they have a good record of longevity in the tax preparation and tax interpretation business. It'd also be a good idea to check their references, understand who they are, interpreting taxes for and writing returns for, and how long they've been doing it. Really dig deep, because this is serious stuff. They've got the power to act in a way that is far worse than the literal mafia. Always remember, the United States has a monopoly on violence. There is no organization in this country, in the history of this country, and there never will be, that has a larger monopoly on force than our government does. And they've shown a recent predilection toward using it against the citizen. They're bringing all the, power projection home to Main Street. It's not in Mogadishu. It's not in Baghdad. It's not in, Afghanistan anymore. It's here. And it wants money. It's a beast. It's hungry. So you've got to play it straight when it comes to taxes. We're going to do more because this is running a little long. But what I want to get into in a subsequent video that we're going to do very soon, we're going to look at the effects of the UK coming off of being the world's reserve currency and what that did to their economy. We're also going to look at the fall of the Soviet Union and the aftermath of that, and how its people dealt with the dissolution of their country. Okay, what that meant to the average citizen. So we're going to look at those two countries and kind of delve into that and get some insight on what we might witness if we're here. Some of you are very young. If you're in your 20s, you might see the breakup of the United States of America in your lifetime. And so we just want to explore that and prepare for it economically. Okay, guys, I will talk to you soon.